Hey guys, it's Yvette. I am working on Cotton Cuts, block number 2, but I also thought I would show you, this is something I'm working on for a swap. It's going to be a table topper. Anyway, I'm using Tula Pink Fabrics, the De La Luna, and I love them. I think that they're awesome. So let me just set this over here, just to move it. And okay, so here I am with our instructions for block number 2. And you guys, I mean, I was so just overwhelmed to receive this pattern from Kim and all the other girls over at Cotton Cuts. You know, they're apologizing for the mishaps from last month, and you know, I personally think, you know, just an apology and fixing it was really plenty good enough, but we got this pattern too, and so I'm not sad about that. This is really cool. I mean, it looks like it's pretty simple and very useful. So thank you so much, you guys. We really appreciate that. So anyway, here are all my pieces, along with a whole bunch of other junk that I call my desk or my cutting board. And look how crowded it is. I don't know how I cut anything. Anyway, so here are the instructions. There's a side 1, side 2. I have made sure that I've pressed all the fabric just in case, you know, it could come through the mail. So I just want to make sure everything was nice and flat, and I did that. So now I'm going to head over to the sewing machine, and we'll start putting some of these blocks together. Be right back. Hey guys, okay, so I have the fabric that I'm going to work with first to start to put together the block. This is the first step that they show us. And the really great thing about all of these triangles is that Cotton Cuts has actually die cut them for us. So we even have the little, well, we've got Jelly Bean now. Hey JB, everybody's watching right here, buddy. Wanna come up on top? Alrighty, Jelly Bean. Jelly Bean, what are you sniffing? Jelly Bean. Okay, yeah, okay. Jelly Bean. Hey, buddy. JB, come up here. Come on. Jelly Bean. Do you want to come up here? Okay, now we've got Jelly Bean's booty. That's awesome. Alright, look, they're die cut. So we've got these little notches on the ends of the triangle that you can't see because Jelly Bean decided he's going to put his butt right here. Jelly Bean, really. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be attaching these like this on the sides. I don't know if you could see that. Obviously that's a whole stack of them, but we're gonna be doing them one, and we have 2 different kinds of inside fabrics, so we'll have 2 of those. So let's start attaching some. I'll show you that. Jelly Bean, you're messing up this whole video, buddy, and you know we all love you to bits. We do. Every single one of us, we love you. Okay, so I'm going to take, oh, Jelly Bean. Okay, you see guys, it's not even just the logistics of making these tutorial videos, but it's also, I've got Jelly Bean who won't get out of the way. And I know you guys want to see him, that's why I'm just going to let him, you know, maneuver his little way around. JB, please, baby. We've all seen your butt for like 5 minutes now. Come on. Oh, goodness gracious, great balls of fire. All right, so we're going to take this, and it's going to be attached this way. So then you want to take it, and you want to flip them right sides together, and that's when you'll see that those little notches right here are going to line up, and then you just want to make sure that they line up on top as well. And listen, it does not have to be perfect. I mean, it should be pretty close, but it doesn't have to be perfect. Because all we're going to do is now we're going to stitch a 1/4 inch line right here. And I'm going to go ahead and do that. Jelly Bean, baby. You're making mommy crazy. Like totally Looney Tunes is what you're doing to mommy. Yep. I just wanted to share that with you, buddy, because mommy's going to be Looney Tunes. And then I might forget that it's almost lunch. Uh-huh. I hate when it gets sucked in like that. I feel like I have to just restart this entire video. I don't know. Okay, there we go. I fixed it. And there he went. Thank God I didn't have coffee over there this time. He did that last night and I had coffee. Nothing spilled, but it just, you know, makes you have a heart attack when he does it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to chain stitch these just like I do with all the other projects. So I'll probably speed up the video in just a minute here. Let's see. Probably just let you see just a couple more, and you see they're all matching up pretty. I don't know why, but I've got this sinking feeling that my seams are not, or my forget it. I'm not even talking right now. I'm just going to go and sew. Seam allowance. Thank you. See, I don't like sewing really fast because, first of all, especially with paper, not paper, but with piecing blocks like this, it's so important that your seam allowance is like pretty much right on, because everything's got to fit together in a certain way. And if it doesn't, that's when you run into trouble. So I would prefer to go slower and make sure that my seam allowance is close, you know, as close to perfect as I can get it. Because that's like step one and the easiest step to making sure things are right. It's such a little thing, you know. Okay, so I've finished stitching on the first half, and I was going to start the second one, but then I realized that this actually needs to be pressed open before I do that. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to head over to the ironing board. I'm going to flip this over, press it out, and then I'll come back and stitch the other side. So I will be right back. Okay, so I'm back from the ironing board, and as you can see, I've pressed all of these out, and now I'm going to attach this piece to the other side. So it'll be the same thing where you're sewing it like this, and then you want to put the right sides together and then sew along this seam right here. then I'm just going to chain stitch them just like I always do. Okay, so I've got all of these pieces sewed, and I just need to go over to the ironing board and press this over, and then I'm going to go grocery shopping, and by the power of the camera I'll be back and we'll finish these up. We'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back with my flying geese, that's what we call those, and also the pieces that we are now going to attach to the bottom. So what we'll be doing is we'll attach one strip to the bottom of each of these, and since we're attaching them that way, I'm going to fold them right sides together, and I'm going to stitch along this long line here. Okay? Oops. It's probably better to do it like this. And again, we're using the 1/4 inch seam allowance. Sorry, I know I'm such a perfectionist. Let's see how that look down there. I guess it's okay. All right. And I'm going to chain piece them, just like I always do. Just goes a lot quicker. Whoa! What happened there? See, that's how I drive a car. Who's that down there? Somebody's come to help out Mommy. Yeah, that's my JB. Okay, so now we have all of the strips sewn onto the bottom, and I'm going to go over to the ironing board, and I'm going to just flip this open and press it out, and I will be right back. Okay, so I have pressed all of my seams, and what we're going to do now is we're going to attach these one to the other. And I think that the way they show it in the photo is they are sort of laid like this, and we're going to make sure they're all just have you know, a strip piece between the flying geese piece. And we're going to stitch the 4 that have these together, and then the 4 that have these together. So you'll have 2 pieces once you're finished, okay? So I would just take this, fold them over, pretty sides together, and then we're going to do a stitch down here. I'll do that now. Okay, so what's going on with me right now is that I'm putting these together like pretty quick because they're on camera, and I have some size issues with my pieces, and I'm noticing something right now that I might have to check on. But the worst case scenario is that I need to move my my stitch further that way, which would be fine because then it would just go further out. So I'm just going to finish this, or try to, and see where I am. Okay. I think I need to get a little bit closer, and I think my issue was this piece skewed out a little bit, so let me actually, I'm going to just go cut that real quick, that little piece that's out. Just one moment. Okay, so it basically means that where I sewed my seam allowance, it looks like it's more of an 1/8 of an inch than a 1/4. So I'm just going to re-sew, and it's really not going to hurt anything. It's really not that big a deal. If it had been like the other way, then I would need to rip all the seams out and start over. But since I'm making the seam allowance bigger, it's not a big deal. Okay, so now I have them all sewed together as well. I'm going to go over to the ironing board and press both of these pieces out, and then we have one more piece to attach, so I'll be right back. Okay, so now I have all my pieces pressed, and we have one more piece to add to each one. And basically, I'm just going to pull the green one because I think you can see it better on that one. You've got one end that has the pink flower at the bottom, and the other one basically has a flying geese at the top. That's where you want to attach your extra piece. So we're going to attach that piece right there, and all we'll do is flip it over and sew along there, and we'll do that on each of the pieces. So I'll do that right now. Okay, so now I have these two top pieces that are sewn on. I'm going to go and press them, and then I will show you the final product. Be right back. Okay, so here is the final product. My lengths, where it's supposed to be 21.5 inches from end to end, they're off, like, by a lot. So I think I may have probably shortened my seam allowance too much. And so what I'm going to do is, instead of trying to trim them down because they're so off, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to wait until I see where they're going to be in the quilt. And then I can make adjustments at that point, because, you know, it could be that I'm off more on this end or this end, and, you know, I really don't know. So I'm not going to fret right now. I'm just going to hang them on my wall, and we'll wait and see where these go. So there you go. I'm done with my points or my pieces for today, and I will see you guys later. Bye.